In the new Bleach chapter, New Breaths from Hell, we are reintroduced to our very own favorite Soul Reaper, Ichigo Kurosaki. It's a joy to see him again after all this time, but there is a glaring question that sticks out when you observe Ichigo in this chapter. What is going on with the Zanpakuto? In this video, I will give you my opinion on what I believe happened to our favorite substitute Shinigami. If you're a fan of Bleach and this channel, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. The biggest question mark when it comes to Ichigo is this. He's wielding Zangetsu from his old shikai form, or you could say he's wielding Tensei Zangetsu after the white portion was broken off in the final arc. What is going on here? The first thing we have to establish is that Kubo is the only one who 100% knows what the answer to this question is, and until he comes out to explain things, we need to take everything with a grain of salt. Discussing possible outcomes and theories, however, is perfectly fine. So let's jump into what I think is going on over here. Think back to Ichigo's 1000-year Blood War form. He became the third Shinigami in history to wield two Zanpakuto. That became his new constant release shikai. Against Yuha Bak, he activated Horn of Salvation, which turned his larger blade white and the smaller one remained black. To enter Bankai, Ichigo places the two together and the two merge into one. The black smaller blade becomes the inner portion surrounded by the bigger white blade. This was his new Bankai, Tensei Zangetsu. It's important to note that when Ichigo initially activated Horn of Salvation, he used Quincy Ryatsu to awaken his Hollow Ryatsu as seen on the blade itself. You can see the markings of blood vein on the blade as it turns white. In other words, Hollow and Quincy Ryatsu are mixed together in his bigger blade. After Yuha defeats Ichigo, he absorbs Ichigo's power and calls it the power I gave you. And Ichigo actually says that the Quincy power inside him, along with the Hollow power that was mixed with it, is disappearing into white. So here's the point. Yuha absorbed Ichigo's Quincy Ryatsu along with the Hollow Ryatsu. So when Tsukishima and Inoue together fix Ichigo's broken Bankai, they're fixing the sword, but Ichigo has lost his Quincy and Hollow Ryatsu. You can actually visibly see that the horn is dissipating and it never returns. His Bankai gets fixed, but his Hollow or Quincy Ryatsu is not shown to have ever been returned. Tsukishima makes it so that his sword was never broken, but does not make it so that his Ryatsu was never stolen. So when Ichigo and Yuha clash during their final showdown, and Ichigo attempts to swing at Yuha, the white part of his blade begins to crack. It continues to crack until all the white around the blade shatters, revealing the embodiment of Ichigo's pure soul Shinigami powers, his first shikai. In the Can't Fear Your Own World novel, we know that Ichigo gets all his powers back after some time. So, if Ichigo's power was returned after the battle and during the events of Can't Fear Your Own World, and Can't Fear Your Own World occurs before this new chapter, what is Ichigo's sword supposed to look like? This is the part that gets a little bit headcanon-y because we just do not know. We will not know for sure until Kubo tells us specifically, but I will let you know what I think is going on here. I believe that Ichigo Kurosaki's unawakened shikai takes on the visage of his old shikai from years prior. The Zangetsu Butcher Knife, as I will describe it, is Ichigo's unawakened shikai. He can then call on Zangetsu and enter his dual wield, and then from there into Bankai. I believe that because Yuha took Ichigo's Quincy Ryatsu, which was mixed with his Hollow Ryatsu, we were never going to be able to see Ichigo's actual Bankai. He did not have all of his power. Both Quincy and Hollow were stolen, leaving him with just Shinigami. And so in summation, even though there is a possibility that this is just Ichigo's new sword, I believe that this is actually Ichigo's new unreleased Zanpakuto, and that he can then enter Shikai and consequently Bankai. If it turns out to be something completely different, Kubo will have to really sell us on the reasoning. It's a complex enough situation as is, and I hope he just keeps Ichigo with his dual wield and then explains what his Bankai ability is instead of coming up with a new entire concept. So as always, please understand that this is merely my headcanon opinion / theory on what it could be. We have to wait for Kubo to actually tell us what is going on with Ichigo Kurosaki's power. If you're a fan of Bleach and if you like the content that you see, please do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button for more videos in the future. My next video will be tackling the biggest questions of the chapter, so please look forward to it. With that, I bid you adieu. It's your boy Rebirth, signing off. Peace.